everybody, this is your girl Deborah Coco, and make sure you check out Just Give Me the Mic on all social media. Also, check us out on Bronxnet Channel 16 on Sundays at 10 p.m. And soon we'll be launching on MNN coming up in June, everybody. So stay tuned for that network information. Support. If you want to interview, make sure you hit me up on justgivemethemic12@gmail.com. You want us to come out and rep at one of your events, also hit me up for that as well. And love is love, everybody. See y'all soon. Support. Wow, good afternoon, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well. I am your host, Deborah Coco, and thank you for tuning in to Just Give Me the Mic. I'm so excited because this is Women's Month here, right? So happy International Women's Month. It is going down in March, and I'm excited to be a part of that movement that's going on. I've been seeing a lot of women sharing some very positive quotes and support, being very supportive and inspiring to each other. So it's pretty exciting already. And March 10th is going down, y'all. So yes, we have a great show lined up. I hope you have been tuning in to Just Give Me the Mic. Again, you can catch us Sunday nights at 10 p.m. and channel 68 and 1234, I think it is, or 2134 on Fios. You can catch us in Manhattan on MNN2 on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. And we're also launching today, actually, on Roku. So shout out for all the moves that's going on for the show and for everybody that's involved. We're helping the show to continue to grow. I'm very excited about it and looking forward to all the new opportunities. Soon we're going to be doing a partnership in Philly as well. So look out for us because Just Give Me the Mic is coming, y'all. 2021. It is no game going on, right? Everybody is not playing. So first and foremost, I'm excited. I have an artist joining me today. You know, he's going to talk about how he got started in music and what's going on with him. Shout out to my friend Znuff Starr for making the connection to make this whole thing work. And hopefully he'll be on the show as a guest too. So right now I'd like to interview Stack Federal Dollahs to the show. And a lot of good things is happening. Got some new music that just dropped, you know. And, you know, the movement is really strong, y'all. So we're going to hear all about it. And again, you know, I'm excited about the interview. I read your bio, and you actually had an early start in music. But I'm going to let you start off and tell us a little bit, because you're actually from Peru, correct?
Indeed. My roots are from Peru. My earth and my old just, they from Peru. They migrated over here, you know, looking for a better understanding for myself and my physical. And, you know, that's where the story begins.
Wow. So, like, how old were you when you came over here from Peru?
Well, actually, I was born here, but my old earth and my just, they migrated from Peru to the United States of America.
Have you ever been there to visit?
Oh, yeah. It's very poor, but it's a very beautiful place. A very beautiful place.
So it's like a lot of hillsides. When I think of Peru, I picture like the country. You know, like fresh fruits hanging off.
They got country. They got city and
do.
Country. Yeah.
Okay. But that's pretty much kind of like everywhere, right? I just came back from South Carolina, and it's like, okay, they got the city part, but I'm used to being younger, always going to South Carolina. I'm used to just seeing countries and hills and grass, and I'm not used to seeing like clubs and all that kind of stuff. Maybe because I was young and I wasn't hanging out, but you know, it's a whole new world now. So let's talk
modernized.
Right. And you've actually had like the fortunate opportunity to meet some celebrities, you know, growing up through your family members. So let's talk about the two people that you mentioned. They kind of like my favorites too. So I was like, wow, when I saw that in the bio, I said, okay, Patti LaBelle.
Well, maybe you misinterpreted that wrong. You know what I'm saying? What I meant by she introduced me to them is by she opened the doors sonically. You know what I'm saying?
For you to hear their music.
No, I didn't. Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't meet them personally, but their music was introduced to me by my older cousin.
So what I'm gonna say is, having those two individuals brought to you, because obviously your cousin enjoyed the music, right?
Right.
So having the opportunity to hear from like two greats. Patti LaBelle, her range is like phenomenal, right? And
Exactly.
Sade was on that. They're kind of like opposites, right?
Yeah.
When you think
Yeah.
about it in a way, because one is like really high volume, and Sade is kind of
Very
like,
soft.
very soft and mellow.
Yeah.
So how do you think, like hearing, like listening to these two artists, how do you think that affected your music and your style?
Well, it helped me understand at an early age that music has very very is various. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, that it has various opportunities to impact people. So
Right.
it's not just one style. So that's what it helped me understand. So it helped me to understand that I could be dynamic with the music.
Mm-hmm. Right, because you don't have to be just one way.
Word.
I know a lot of people, like a couple of artists that I used to listen to before, artists that I meet in my area, so to speak. A lot of them want to do like party music or stuff like that. And I tell them all the time, like, it's okay to explore other avenues of rap. You can still be a rapper, but you don't always have to rap about partying
Or
or getting
killing.
high, right, or
Yeah.
killing. Like, you can step outside of that box and still be able to achieve great
Create
goals
great
and
music. Right.
right, create music. Because some people do, like, they get stuck in a box,
Right.
and they're scared to take chances and do things different, right? Like, even for you, like, most people probably think, if they ask you, like, some of the people who inspired you, like, just outside looking in, the two that we talked about just now, I wouldn't even they wouldn't even pop up in my head. Like, I would
Right.
think
Right.
of probably some other artists. So for us to mention those two as some artists that you grew up that kind of inspired you and maybe affected the way you thought about music or created music, that's an interesting point in itself. So who else was some of the artists that you listened to that may have inspired your music as well?
I would say Bob Marley. I would say Hector Lavoe. I would say Celia Cruz. I would say
Yes.
Nas, Big Daddy Kane. It's a wide variety, and I
Okay.
take a little piece from everybody and add to what I have to bring to the forefront to the people of this
So what
package
did
of
you like?
Stack Federal Dollars.
Right, Stack Federal Dollars, right? It all goes in the pot to create your
Word.
sound
Create that
and
create that
help you
gumbo.
with your message. That's right. So let's talk about, what about Nas did you appreciate the most of
What
his
what I,
artistry?
what I appreciate from Nas is that his vocabulary, one, and his ability to put you exactly what he's reciting on the mic. If he's saying something like, for example, New York State of Mind, when you hear that song, you automatically picture yourself in the projects in Queensbridge, right next to him.
Mm-hmm. Right, right, right,
So that
right.
ability is very, very, very powerful. And once
It
you tap
is.
into that and are able to, articulate that, you're golden.
It's like painting a picture. It's like,
Exactly. Bob
it's
Marley
definitely like
painted
paint.
numerous pictures. That's why Bob Marley
Yes.
will forever live on.
I just actually watched a documentary on his life, like, really, because I've always loved his music. Like, I was a
Hmm.
big reggae fan. I had a lot of family in Brooklyn. Like, I always in the neighborhood on Nostrand, is known for
Shout out
like
to
a variety.
Nostrum.
Right, right. Shout out to Nostrand, because I grew up in the Bronx, right? So
Okay.
around me, my culture, the culture that I actually grew up in, was mainly like Hispanic. So
Right,
when I
right,
used
right.
to go to Brooklyn, it was like, whoa, like
A
all these
culture
different,
shock.
it was,
Yeah.
but I've always had this growing up, but I was able to identify the differences,
Hmm.
and I could identify the variety between the boroughs.
Right.
Like, I know if I come uptown, I can get some good food, and I know when I go to Brooklyn, I can also get good food that I'm not accustomed to or I wasn't used to having, because I was like a country girl, like those southern meals I was used to. So I go to Brooklyn, get my rice and peas and my jerk
Okay.
and my oil, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
And then
right.
every borough kind of has, or place has, a specialty. So my
Yeah.
thing was, that's where I first started getting introduced to like reggae, like real authentic reggae artists and reggae
Hmm.
music was going out to Brooklyn. So Bob Marley, really, the depth of his music, how it touches you, right? And you could feel the pain, right?
Right.
And the lyrics and
And
the
the healing.
struggle,
And the
right?
healing
And the
at the same
healing and
time.
the
Yeah.
healing, right? And the
Right.
struggle and the inspiration. And I mean, that's a powerful thing. Like a lot of artists don't realize how the message that you put into your stories and how it could affect people that and people or how people can relate to the story, even though it's not even the same story, but they could identify, right?
Indeed. Indeed.
So now going back to Stack Federal Dollars, how important is your message when you're sitting down writing and you're being creative and you're thinking about what you want to put into a song? Like what are some of the things that come to mind for you for your writing process?
Well, when I'm writing, I always strive to make sure that I'm saying something. You know,
Right.
I want to always leave the listener with a message, and that's
Mhm.
basically my point on any time that I'm writing something. All right, it want to be flashy, it want to be fly, it want to be catchy, but at the same time, you got to leave a message. It has
Right,
to have a
right,
base. It has to have a
right,
foundation.
right,
So then once I understand that, once I reread what I wrote, I was like, I bet this is good. Because there's numerous times when I wrote stuff and I'm like, this is trash. This has it says nothing. It says nothing. So I got to rewrite it over. You got to be honest with yourself.
right. And I think that's important. I think that's good that you even think about it like that, you know?
Right.
Um I think we all have a responsibility when we're dealing with the public and we're putting things out in the public. Like, you know, also you represent yourself, you know, and you want to be
Indeed.
seen in a certain light. And it's also you want to be responsible to your message that you're putting out there. So I think that is good. And I think it's healthy to be able to critique yourself. You know, a lot
Indeed.
of people just think everything they do is dope. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's
Too many
it.
yes
Put
men's
it
in a
out.
corner. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, are you a solo artist or do you work with a team?
I have a team. You know what I'm saying? I'm under the label 85 Music, but I am a
Okay.
solo artist under the label
Okay.
85 Music. Shout out to 85 Music.
Yeah, shout out to 85 Music. And are you based in New Jersey now? Is that where your music is at? That's where you
Indeed.
live?
The Power
Okay.
City, Patterson,
The
New
Power
Jersey.
City.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so how did you come across is Zuzu Star under y'all all under the same umbrella or
Oh no, no. See, I know the brother from way back. See, this music thing, I have you traveling alongside people, you know, and then
Mhm.
when the time is right, then your paths eventually cross or connect,
Right,
and that's what
right.
happened. You know, I know the brother coming more than 15 years now, and it's the first time we actually made some music because it was actually the time was right for us to make music.
Nice. So even though we can't play the music on television, but if you are on Just Give Me the Mic on YouTube, you can definitely go on there. I am going to upload the videos before I put this video up into the show. So you'll be able to see his music. But let's talk about the track that you did with him and tell us about it. And yeah, let's talk about that track.
Oh yeah, basically it's HMN2. Basically hate me now too. Shout out to D-Moët, the legendary D-Moët, the brother he produced Nas's Hate Me Now. And
Okay.
long story short, what happened was that we've been working for quite some time. Um, I believe it was starting with the second album that we were working on, which is titled Crime Side. We actually recorded that at D-Moët studio. Long story
Okay.
short, he played us the beat and we loved it. But at that moment in time, you know, we weren't worthy of the beat because we just started working. So as
Okay.
time went along and the brother saw that we were serious, he actually just said, all right, here, man, it's time for you to do your thing. So he gave us the beat and we created what we created, magic.
Yeah, I mean it's a dope track. Yeah, that's why I have to. I'm like I had to work my mind here because I'm like y'all have to see this video. So like I said, make sure y'all check that out when I put that link up. Make sure you pay look at this. We're gonna put up two music videos actually. And what's the name of the other track that you sent me?
The other one is Commencement. That was the
Mm-hmm.
first single off my last album titled Poison and the Remedy, which was solely produced by Lightspan, producer under the umbrella of 85 Music. Shout out to Lightspan.
Okay, shout out to Lifespan. That's right. So when did you? Let's backtrack a little, right? When did you decide that you really wanted to do this like for real, like this is really what you want to do and you sticking to it? Like when did that happen for you?
2018 when Nas dropped Nasir. When Nas dropped Nasir, I actually called my brother and I told him, I was like, yo, man, I want to get back in the studio. He's like, I bet, you know what I mean? Let's link up and then, you know, let's see what kind of beats we got, and whichever one you gravitate to, we're gonna work with that. And it just so happened that when I called him and his best friend was already in the midst of making the label 85 Music. So it all worked out. It all worked out. It was all, you know, divine intervention.
I was about to say that's that divine timing right there.
Yeah,
you know? Everybody was coming together on the same page to make that go down. So the label itself is only 2 years old.
No, 2018.
Oh, so 3 years old. Yeah. Okay. So how has it been? Like, has COVID-19 been a challenge for you and your team, or has it kind of opened up some other avenues for you to get the music out? Because some artists I talk to, they feel like, you know, kind of trapped in a sense because they like performing, they like that stage presence, they like feeding off the audience.
They can't get that money.
Right. They like that money, right? They like that money. You know, they always put that last, but you know, they like that money. And so how do you cope? How do you deal with being an artist and some of these events and things is not taking place no more? Like, how do you stay motivated?
Well, to be honest with you, this has been a blessing because without COVID, we're always running. So we're not making enough time for our artistry. This right here should help you home in on your artistry. So you have actually no time but to write and to reinvent yourself as an artist. Because as you see, many artists right now are dropping music and now they're doing podcasts. They striving to find other ways to reinvent themselves to remain what's the word I'm looking for? To remain captivating. Yeah, relevating or captivated, you know what I'm saying? Captivating toward their fans.
Right. It's like, don't forget me. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, I'm still here. You know, because you're right. I see Fat Joe. It's just a number of artists now. Even a lot of people that I think that probably would have not gotten into podcasts definitely have taken upon this new adventure now due to COVID. But you are right about that. It's podcasts all over the place. And, you know, ironically, it kind of pushed me out of doing interviews as much. You know? Yeah. Now that's just a thought that just came to me because from my point of view, this is a observation that I just realized. I started seeing so many people. Like, I've been doing this show for 10 years. We actually just had our 10-year end. Thank you. So I've done it on Blog Talk. I've done it on Ustream. I've done it in the studio with my I recreated Rap City with my little video booth where we used to have the chat, all kinds of stuff, you know.
There's multiple levels to your greatness, to where you at now.
Right. So now we're doing it at Brox's Studio. So if it wasn't COVID, I would have invited you to come to the set. Indeed. And there's a whole production team, everything there. So I'm saying, but now, like, I used to take pride in, you know, doing the interviews and everything, but now it just feels so crowded to me. Like, it feels so crowded.
Saturated.
Like, I see
saturated right now.
I see people that I interviewed doing shows and doing which I love. Which I love. It's not coming from a place like, damn, you doing that now? Right. It's not coming from there at all because we all should learn and grow.
Right.
But it's feel like now, okay, well, let them do that. And while they doing that, I'm doing something else now. You know what I'm saying? So I've been acting and doing stuff to build me. I'm like, y'all hold down them podcasts. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hold it down. But I still always got to come back and do interviews because this is my first love. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, when people reach out 2-3 times a month, I'll definitely do some interviews and talk to people because this is really what I love to do, you know? So you're right. I'm just saying this based on what you said, how COVID has kind of pushed people into different lanes that they may have not gotten into. And I feel the same for myself. Right. You know, because it's all about growth, you know. Right. It's all about growth. So let's talk about your growth. Let's talk about, you know, when you write, you like peace and elevation. That's dope. That means constant growth. So let's think about, like, tell me some of the changes that you've been through with yourself and your music since you start, not like, not the very beginning, but at a pivotal point up until now. Let's talk about your growth. Let's talk about your elevation.
Well, you know what I'm saying? As an artist, originally I used to run off that blueprint from not that Nas blueprint. He didn't have a lot of features, coming into the game. So I originally was sticking to that blueprint. Then I said, you know what? It's probably best that I grow a little bit more and start building with other artists. And that's what I did with this new album.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this new
the new
album.
that I just put out now, Street Cinema 1, Money and Lessons, has numerous features to that fact, to help me build as an artist, to expand as an artist. So that's what I did. That's what I altered.
Okay, so how was that process for you? Because working solo versus working with people, did you enjoy it? Was there some challenges to doing that for you?
At first, it was challenges because you're striving to get the right person for the right song to make sure that there's chemistry. Because sometimes you'll have two people on the song like, what did they just do there? It sounds terrible, right?
Right.
So you want to make sure that there's a cohesion on the track. So that was the pivotal point, right? I shouldn't say pivotal. That was the little hurdles that I was going through, striving to find the right individual for each track. And lo and behold, you know what I'm saying, we actually did a good job. The whole team and myself, we actually did a good job in finding the right people to put them in the right pockets. And Street Cinema 1, Money and Lessons is available on all streaming platforms. Whenever you get the opportunity, check me out.
Right. And so so check him out on everything. So we're gonna put that up. Hopefully we'll put a link at the end to Street Cinema. Say it again, Street Cinema.
Street Cinema 1, Money and Lessons.
All right, we got to check that out on all streaming platform, y'all. So check that out. So salute to you for that. So the other thing that I wanted to ask you is how much of you are you very open on who you are and what you go through on your music? Like, are you very transparent?
I believe that most of my music is more message driven than being transparent.
Okay.
I'd rather leave like I said earlier, I'd rather leave, the listener with a message than being more transparent. At this point in time, that's one thing that I believe that I need to tap into to grow further. That's another thing that I'm striving to do. But as of right now, I wouldn't say that I'm like a Biggie. He was very transparent with his music.
Very.
At one point, he was like, my mom's got cancer on her breast. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, or Nas, when he was talking about his father was a cheater, like that was very, very strong for you to just come out there and say that. And that's the beautiful thing about an artist. We hang ourselves, we put ourselves on the cross to be stoned by people, because a lot of people who aren't able to do this are be the first ones to criticize you.
Right. That's why you actually kind of read my mind with where I was going with it, because I've always liked Biggie, but I just happened to recently see the documentary, the new one from Biggie's Voice on Netflix. So I got to and I really liked his version, because it gave us more of an insight of why he did certain things and what was going on with him as a person. Which when we see artists and the way media portrays you, we always have to keep in mind that may not be what's really going on with a person. A lot of people, like what you see on social media, may not always be always what you hear may not always be the truth,
Right.
So you always got to try to keep those factors in mind, when we're looking at people that's in the public eye. But I definitely did appreciate that. And I had an artist on here one time that talked about he was going through depression, and he really shared all of that on his music. So that was something else that I was using as reference, like in your music, like how much of you do you think you share? I think messages are very important as well. So let's talk about the components of some of the topics that you talked about on this latest release.
Well, on this latest release, we strive to give the listener two sides of the coin. So what we strive to do is give you the street version, and then we strive to give you the person who is out of the streets, who made it out of the streets. So basically, like for example, we have a song called Credit on Street Cinema 1, Money and Lessons, right? We have a song
Okay.
called Credit, and before the song comes on, we have an individual who's well known in the Power City. The brother is named True Kepra. He was speaking on throughout the whole album, and he basically lets you know that you cannot do anything or accomplish anything in the real world with street credit.
Mm.
So that's
Mm.
basically the message that we
Right.
giving people. Like,
Right.
we'll
Right.
talk about the grimy stuff in the streets, how you can gain that street credit, and then we'll give you light on the other side of the world. Because once you cannot be in the streets for all your life.
No, you
Eventually
can't.
you're gonna make that transition, right? And when you make
Right.
that transition, you cannot carry over with the stuff that you have from the streets. Certain things you can, but certain things you can't. It's just not gonna work. So
Right.
therefore, that's what we're doing. We're shedding light on both sides of the coin on this new
And then
album.
what
That's
I
why it's
like
titled
about it,
Street Cinema 1, Money and Lessons.
right, right. And then the thing about it, you pulling them in with information that they could relate to, especially if they in the street, you know?
Right,
And then you
right.
flipping it on the back end like, look, you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
try to get out of that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you're pulling them in and you're teaching them something at the same time. So that's
Indeed.
very important. So what would you like? What are some of the things that you would like to do? Like, you know, the city's about to open back up. It's kind of like you got this feel. I don't know if it's because it's like 50 degrees. I feel like, oh, it's time to go out and get wild. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right.
But I just almost feel like I'm gonna be let out of and be able to be free and get some air. Like, what are some of your immediate plans for your music if and when the city opens back up?
Hit the streets. Start doing these shows. That's it.
Right,
Give me
right.
the mic. Give me the mic
Yes,
first.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh
The
man, we
first
had
show
such
you
a
do,
dope.
I'm there.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's dope.
Yeah.
So how do you know? Is there any? Okay, I'm in New York and you're
Right,
in Jersey, right?
right.
Do you feel what do you feel is like the same about the music? Is it the drive? Is it the artist? Because to me, it's different. Even when I go to Philly, when I go to different places, I could feel like a little difference in maybe the music, the sound, the culture, the topics. Do you notice anything different between New Jersey and New York?
I believe the music is all the same,
Mm-hmm.
especially in this day and time. We're all speaking about the struggles and the things that we're going through. The only thing that's projected different vocally is the way you speak, the way your
Right.
area has different slang. That's it.
Right.
That's basically it. But we're all speaking about politics. We're all speaking about health. We're all speaking about, life struggles all in one.
All right. I wanted you to actually say that. Not me. Because I can talk. I can talk as you can see. But the only thing, like, I noticed, like, when I went to a showcase in Philly, for example, right? A
Hmm.
lot of the artists will seem to be, like, more cultural about Black pride and, you know, the evolution of people. And I just kind of know, I'm like, wow, even though I go to a lot of showcases in New York, I just noticed like, wow, I've never been to a showcase where I felt it was a lot of Black power. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like
Right,
in
right,
one
right.
showcase from different artists throughout the city. So I'm like, is that a theme out here? Which is nice, you
Hmm.
know?
Well,
Because
you were in the city of brotherly love.
right, right. It
Right,
felt like we was all united in that
right,
building.
right, right,
Like everybody in that room connected, not from the street, not
right.
because we're all Black or we're all, come from different, we're minorities, so to speak. It was just the cause, the feeling, the we all need to be like, accepted as humans. It was on some old universal. It was like different for me, which I was like, but it was dope. It was great. So I don't know if what was happening, with the George Floyd and all these different killings that maybe kind of inspired, because that's what
Hmm.
a lot of artists do. You write about things that affect you now. So we did have a time period where it was a lot of stuff going on back to back,
Right,
so
right,
maybe it
exactly.
was just a sign of the time that was going on.
Could have
But
been, could have
I
been.
just wanted to highlight that was a beautiful experience. And you know I like the fact that you are giving messages and lessons. And y'all better be weird, because come on now, the summertime is coming up and Stack Federal Dollars is going to be hitting them streets. He going to be in
Manteca
New York.
país.
What language do you speak?
Me, I'm Peruvian. Since I
So
speak
what?
Spanish. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay.
Word.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. Yeah. So, do you actually rap Spanish too? Do you
Yeah,
use that in your music?
indeed.
Awesome.
I've done it in the past. I got a track called Spanglish, produced by Mo Sound, the president of 85 Music. That's also available on all streaming platforms. Whenever you get the opportunity, check it out. It's called Spanglish. Yeah, and I also got another song catered to the ladies called Nana. That was produced by Lightspan. So yeah, we definitely, you know what I'm saying, make sure that we take care of our peoples.
That's right. So, have you ever tried to get your music incorporated into films and things like that to kind of help increase its exposure as well?
Yeah, see, but that's a very tough thing to do because it's not what you know, it's who you know. And if you don't know anybody, it's hard to break into that lane. So you know, we definitely striving every day to find that what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say rabbit hole, but I want to say that thin line where you could just budge a little bit and just make your way in. Like, watch out, I'm coming through. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Every day we striving to find that.
Okay, because I know a lot of artists too, especially solo artists that, trying to do the same thing, get incorporated, hoping that their music is played in some web series. Because if you could find the right web series that's got a couple of thousand hits, you could gain a lot of followers.
You out of here.
Right. You could gain a lot of followers through that. So, so how about support? How's your support? And within your fan base, like, how do you feel about the love that you're receiving right now from everybody in regards to your music?
I mean, in reference toward the love from the music, it varies. It varies, you know. Some days you got good days where people like always hitting you up like, yo, you know what I'm saying? This is dope, this is hot. And then other days it's just crickets. It's silence. So right now, the process is what I'm embracing. I was at one point in time, worried about why people are not reciprocating the love that I'm handing out. But that's just what it is. That's just the balance of life, you know. You give, and sometimes you don't get.
So how do you stay motivated during those times when the crickets is chirping? Like, how do you stay motivated?
That motivates me to write something that's going to inspire them to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I can relate to that for the simple fact of, like I said, I've been doing this for 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of support, a lot of things. Sometimes I feel like I don't. But then I have to think to myself, like, what am I doing this for, though? Am I doing this for me? Because my whole objective and the goal of this show is to highlight an artist. Mm-hmm. Highlight what an artist is doing to bring out the best. Not to bring out the best, like you would
to have a solid interview.
Show. Right. You would never come on here and I'd be like, look, I heard a word in the street. Like, it's no negativity,
no Wendy Williams going on over
there. Right. I don't do none of that. It's like we're gonna try to highlight your best attributes and what's going on and what you want to know, what you want the people to know. That's what we're gonna talk about. Right. We're gonna keep it positive and hopefully you'll motivate somebody else through your story, or or maybe you'll be inspired by something we say on the show, whatever. Like I said, my interviews are very conversational. I don't have no questions to mail out. Whatever you say, I'm coming up with stuff that I want to ask you based on our conversation. You know what I'm saying?
That's off the dialogue. Yeah.
Right, off of the dialogue. I'm flowing along with that. But hip hop is
started off in the park.
Right. Started off in the park. So I see you got some other legends, Run DMC, you got KRS-One, Eric B, Rakim, MC Light, like all the dope artists. And you actually grew up watching Video Music Box.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Ralph McDaniels, man. You know what I'm saying? Because without him, I don't know where my love for the genre of hip hop would be. Because when I saw Run DMC and Big Daddy Kane and Biz Markie and numerous others on that television screen, it was just like magic to me. It was like, wow, they were like superheroes. You know what I'm saying? The big hoop chains and all that. I'm like, yo, these dudes are it for real. Yeah. And that what gravitated me toward music even more.
Because you see people like you that look like you.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you got that, you know. I remember grabbing a hairbrush and rapping, thinking I was down with salt and pepper. You know what I'm saying? I was like the fourth member, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, Yeah, it definitely gave us hope, man. It gave
Paprika, use paprika.
yes, paprika. Right. That's who I was, right. And I was just like, we all got inspired. We all got inspired through the music, and we grew up listening to it. We dressed according to the artists that we seen and the people that we like. I mean, it was a dope era in music, right?
Indeed,
So
indeed.
I see that people have 70s to 80s, 80s to 90s, 90s to 2000. What's your favorite era of music?
Gotta be the 90s, golden
Got to
era.
be the 90s,
Yeah.
right? And why is that?
Why is that? Because that's when the music was taking a pivotal turn. Because
In
at
what
first
way?
because you see, you had Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Karis One, right?
Uh
That
huh.
was late 80s coming into the 90s. And then the new wave was Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie, Onyx, Tribe Called Quest.
Right,
So
right,
you could
right,
see the change, the shift in the music. So
right.
to me, that was the best era.
I could agree with you. I could agree with you. Tribe Called Quest. Like, I mean, man, listen. I remember the first time I heard Slick Rick.
Yeah.
And he came out with that song. What's that song? The story. What was it called? TV
Children's
story.
story.
Man, listen. Talking about visualization,
Yeah.
right?
Word.
Closing your eyes. You was walking down the street with that man, right?
Exactly.
Saying
Exactly.
everything that he was talking about. To me, I remember hearing Melly Mel and when
The
they first started talking
the
about
message.
the message.
Yeah.
That was one like, ooh,
His verse to this day is
ooh,
still one of the hottest verses in hip hop.
ever,
Yes.
ever,
Yes. A
ever.
lot of
And
people
it's
don't give him his props.
oh man, listen. I'm around all them guys all the time.
Salute Melly
Him,
Mel. Salute.
yeah, salute to Melly Mel, Grandmaster Caz, Raheem and them for the Furious Five. I'm around Crash Crew. Like I see them, they all in my network.
Okay. You almost
And
the greats.
I look, I'm around people that pretty much kind of started this thing. Melly Mel, I see him a lot as well. Like we all in a certain network in New York, and it's just I just feel so good, man. It's like these people really made a difference,
Yeah.
and it really helped shape and shape our lives through the
Word.
stories that they was telling, and inspiring us growing up. And like you said, Ralph McDaniel's Video Music Box, what an idea they wasn't getting no publicity. They wasn't getting no shine. Nobody was showing them the artists, who they were. We heard the music, but we couldn't identify who the artists were until we started seeing them in videos, the
Groundbreaking.
video groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking. So,
Real.
great times in music. I'm looking forward to 2021. Make sure y'all go out and support Stack Federal Dollars, y'all. And I want to
Manteca
thank you for
país.
chatting with me today and sharing your story and what you like most about music. And give us your social media where we can follow you and support you and check you out.
Word, indeed. First and foremost, you know what I'm saying? I want everybody to go ahead and check out my new album, you know what I mean? Street Cinema 1, Money and Lessons, available on all streaming platforms. I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook, Stack F Dollars, Dollahs. I'm on Instagram, Stack underscore F Dollar, Dollahs. Just get with me. We out here. We making it happen. And we got more music on the way. We got merch on the way. 85 Music apparel.
All
Our
right.
website is up. So you know what I'm saying? We definitely working. We working. We making it happen. We putting in
All
that
right.
groundwork.
Right, right. Yo, support everybody and support and
And shout out to
merchandising is
you. Shout out
big.
to you, Miss Deborah, for having me on here, for creating a platform for individuals like myself. I'm
Thank
grateful. I
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. I really love doing this. As you can tell, 10 years strong, consistent.
Indeed. Consistency is the
Consistent.
key.
It is definitely the key. So I thank you so much. So I'm gonna send you the link to the show when we're done. Make sure you support the artists and every artist that I have on here. We're definitely working, trying to get that message out, trying to be heard out here. And we have important things to say. The artists have important things to share with you. So support the artists. And again, check us out. It's hot on YouTube. Just give me the mic And make sure you go and support my guests. And I'm also going to be showing 2 of his videos coming up. So make sure you do not click off when I say bye. And check out these 2 videos, y'all. And check us out every Sunday. And until then, or until next time, peace and blessings, everybody. See you soon.
Peace and elevation.
Lightning strikes, cracking a church bell. A portal opens, releasing witch bells. It's foreign, you're hearing a fleet of Porsches. The fall clears, I ride with 100 horses. The townmen screaming, San Martin de Porres. The black Christ levitating in air nights, snatching your bottom bitch as a blood sacrifice. My ops blood inks the raps on the scroll. My writings are artifacts equating the value of gold. Right with exuberance, estimate my sentences. This is commencement, tailored unmeasurable excellence. Said with confidence, no need for the emphasis. You rap, I rap, but this is superb difference. Quite honestly, my shit be hitting different. Be having to sign waivers before booking a sesh. When I hit the stew, I ride with the EMS. Got them blacking out, wheezing, anxious to catch their breath. Atheists, send forth your representatives. Send shots through their body like a Baptist Methodist. Descendant of Apollo with the spirit of a griffin. Protecting the 12 Jews from the snakes in the distance. Zartan, I give it to you different. Train to go, I adapt to the mission. Building on equality, destroying on the Sabbath. My character's ambidextrous, hawk righteous, act savage. Clarinex and Fukumori, black, Latin, Asiatic. Distorting they view, mind fucking with the hue. I'ma say it live for those out of the loop. It's red, white, and red, and we coming for the loot. Blessings, Lord, breathe, toast to the seeds. A born sinner, diluting the creed. Fornicating with virgins, planting sevens as seeds. A black rose growing in the concrete. My failures, they lessons, made it succeed me. The madness, orchestrated with a method. Swinging bottles at your head, so you can get the message. I'm talking to you, him, them, whoever. Heavy is the head, till it's severed. I was told, I was type passive. This year I'm Ken Starr, slapping niggas out their caskets.
This ugly nigga, B. Word of my mother, I'm gonna smack this nigga right here. Say I'm gonna smack this nigga. Ooh, nigga.
Man, we gonna stack these shits like 3 or so. I got you.
You know by the name of Znuff Daddy. You can break me down. Come on. You can shake me down. Say you wait me now. My take a crown. You can break me down. You can shake me down. Gonna hate me now. Y'all can hate me now. Yeah. We come from the power city.
Salute the general that crossed enemy lines. Cover square miles, never stepped on a landmine. Invaded and confiscated, conquered and desecrated. Waving my flag while setting the land on fire. Tornado with static, code name electrifier. Upper echelon, Soviet espionage. Democratic boosters, communistic shooters. Liberal speakers for trafficking prisoners. My syndicates balanced, couples commissioners. My hitters line perimeters, check visas on visitors. Protect the assets, trap house, exit access. Non-public companies monopolizing blocks. Liquid investments and chemical stocks. As long as you pay, check it, you don't need clemency. A king scion, go and peep my pedigree. Counting extreme wealth, leaving my Caesar legacy.
You can break me down. You can shake me down. Say you wait me now. My take crown. You can break me down. You can shake me down. Gonna hate me now. Y'all can hate me now. Yeah.
I'ma keep it a buck, not gon' keep it a stack. Bring 10 out the vault, bet niggas won't bet it back. You're now in tune with the 85th cartel. Electric currency or digital cells. Loaded machines holding infinite shells. territorial, leaving stages memorials, bombing studios with explosive audio. Large streams of music strongly induced with toxin. FBI and BMI combined can't stop it. Leave them like a statue trying to stiff me on a profit. They making up they fiends, they raps is cosmetic. Is this show king? This peasant's pathetic. Claiming to be the big bird, parents another pheasant. I'ma use the hawk to open up your goose. Utilize the feathers to sleep off the goose. They stopping me like you, saying I got the juice.
You can break me down.